WFI. It's Later with Bo Kelly. We're live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app. We're live on YouTube and we're live on Instagram. It's Friday. Thank you, Jesus. Didn't know if I was going to make it to Friday or not. It was a long week. Some weeks are longer than others. I can't exactly articulate why. I don't know. It just felt longer. But we're here. It's Friday. That means we're going to have some fun. We're going to kick off the weekend. We're going to play Name That Movie Called Classic. And we're playing for prizes, not just for fun. I don't know what the prizes are. They could be, I don't even want to speculate. Okay. I just know we're playing for prizes. All right. Tawala said we're playing for prizes. That means we're playing for prizes. There is no theme in the game tonight. So it's not like we're going to do something that has to do with May or Memorial Day weekend, which is approaching next week. Nothing like that. It's just regular old game, regular old prizes. And I want to remind you, speaking of prizes, Tuesday on the show, we're going to be giving away Harry Potter and the Cursed Child tickets. So you can see it at the Hollywood Pantages Theater. We're giving away not one, not two, but 3 different pairs of tickets to Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. That's going to be on Tuesday, so you may want to mark your calendar now. I sound like Wimpy. I'll gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today.
Oh, yeah, order some hamburgers.
Yeah, and speaking of food, who is responsible for ordering the food tonight for the crew?
Me and Tawala.
Okay, you sure?
Yeah.
Because when I walked in tonight, Carnisha and Daniel were already eating pizza, and I almost got offended. It's like, wait a minute.
What?
Are you serious?
I'm very serious. I'm 100% serious. They were already eating pizza, and I felt offended because I thought, wait a minute. Did they already order pizza and no one told me?
Before you got here even?
No, Susan, when I walked down the hall, I want to say it's maybe 6 o'clock or so.
Okay.
And I walk down, and I see Daniel with folded pizza in his hand, and I smelled it. It's like... And then I looked around the back of the cubicle and I saw a box of pizza and Carnisha was eating. It's like, wait a minute. Who ordered the pizza and didn't tell me?
They walked in with this pizza. They were coming up the driveway, walking into the building with pizza. And I'm like, what's happening right now?
Now I know.
What is happening?
It is no exaggeration. That's the first point of business that Mo asked me to take care of.
Did.
Make sure we get on the line for pizza so that we don't have it at the end of the show.
I had breakfast today. That's it.
Yeah, me too.
So
Okay.
I'm ready to eat.
All right, okay. Look, damn it. I'm gonna go put in the pizza order
That's
now.
right.
Yeah.
Our priorities are straight. But on the show, let's get back to the show. We do have the Rana Report coming up in hour 2. Mark, what are you going to be reviewing tonight?
I endured Final Destination Bloodlines for the listeners.
How many movies is that for the
really?
series?
6. There's 6
Six of them?
And there's other stuff, too. There's a whole franchise.
I've only seen, I think, 2 of them.
You are missing out on
first
a
2.
whole Final Destination empire.
Is it
your
final?
credit.
Can you tell us that? Is it final, or is it leave it open for a next destination?
Oh, who the hell knows?
It's like Michael, what is it? Michael Myers?
Yeah, it never ends. Look, I know with each Final Destination movie, and you don't have to tell me if I'm right because I know I'm right. With each Final Destination movie, they're all going to die. It's just how they're going to die.
Well,
it's
you can't
about
cheat
when they're going to die. And I know. So for me, it takes all the fun out of the movie because in the first one, at least, it looked like for a moment, maybe one of them would have survived.
Death will not be cheated. Death demands his lives. You can't.
Then what's the point? I'm talking about watching the movie because you know they're all going to die.
Well, we're going to get into that. And also, it's got a weirdly high rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
Really?
It's last time I looked, it was somewhere around 93%. And I'm going to try and break that down for you later on tonight.
No, that can't be real. Can't be. Nope.
Bunch of hacks.
Also on the show tonight, we got to talk about the 134,000 residents who are going to receive notices of medical debt relief from an LA County nonprofit. We want to tell you about that. And Long Beach has added new smart public restrooms across the city. We got to look into that. I'm scared what we might find. And also, Public Health has issued an ocean water warning for 2 LA County beaches. Why don't we just say all the LA County beaches? So why don't we just assume all of them are crawling with sewage? Why don't we start there and then work our way back? Because just about every single week, it's either sewage and or debris. Every single week. And also, in hour 2, we'll find out which is the favorite superhero for each state. And you might be surprised which one it is corresponding to most states in the union. And name that movie called classic in hour 3. As I said, there's no theme. There are no hiccups to worry about unless you're on Tuala's list and you're not allowed to call in anymore. We had to excommunicate some folks.
Oh no, for what?
Oh, all sorts of random and not so random behavior. Some people have been they're doing a little too much. They're lying about the names. They're trying to disguise their voice because they want to win other prizes. And Tuala has a technique, and I don't want to give away his secret, to know who the actual person is calling.
He can find the turd in the punch bowl.
Correct.
Okay.
He's a wizard when it comes to that.
No, he knows. I
listen to it all the time.
And he'll let the person finish, and it's like, come on, dude. Stop. Come on.
I'm going to let you finish.
Right. Taylor, I'm
going
to let you finish. But, some people go overboard with trying to win the prizes. They want to win not every prize, but every prize twice.
Especially if it's a Mo mug.
We have one Mo mug.
Yes.
We have some KFI T-shirts, I believe, some later T-shirts, and some other things. We have some KFI pins. It's an assortment mishmash. I don't know, smorgasbord, goulash. It's all sorts of stuff, which is kind of thrown together. But they are considered prizes. Oh, and Mark, while I have you on the microphone, I know you have other things to do, but I'm curious because I've heard that there might be some precipitation this weekend.
Oh, yeah, thanks for that. You're going to get moist this weekend, Mo. You're almost guaranteed of it. We're going to have some drizzle tonight and into the morning, and then there's a 20% chance of rain tomorrow, but I'm an optimist.
That's okay. I don't have big plans for the weekend. I have to teach some Hapkido classes, work out tomorrow, and then Sunday should be relatively open. So if it should rain, it's all right. I don't have any big plans scheduled for this weekend. But next weekend, Memorial Day weekend, I can't have it raining. Cannot.
What would happen if it did?
It would really piss me off and possibly impact my event that I'm throwing.
Negatively impact it? Would it negatively?
Yes. Southern California Hapkido Invitational, which is going to be in Torrance on May 24th. It's mostly inside, but we have fire marshal requirements, so not everyone can be in the building at the same time. There's a courtyard that we have where we're selling food, and so rain would really put a damper on that.
I see. So as martial artists, would you say Hapkido students are more delicate and more easily damaged by rain?
No. I'm talking about the event, not the students. I don't worry about the people who are competing. No. It's about the families who may want to watch, and not everyone can be inside at the same time.
Okay. Clarification. Thank you for that.
That's all. I understand your dig.
No.
And that insult and that slight. I was aware of it. I was conscious of it, and I recognized it.
No, I am oozing with respect for you and everything you do. I don't have any idea what you're talking about.
Between oozing and moist, I need you to better choose your words in this show, please. It's a family show.
Man, everybody's an editor around here.
It's Later with Mo Kelly. We're live on YouTube. We're live on the iHeartRadio app. We're live on Instagram.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
It's Later with Mo Kelly. I almost said Later with Morris O'Kelly. I almost let my government name slip out.
It sounded like you were trying to say it's Later with Mark Ronner.
That's fine.
That's what
I kind of thought that you were going to say Mark too.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it sounded like.
No, I was getting ready to say more. Okay, why don't we? All right, play the bumper again. Let's start all the way over.
Okay.
Because I want to disabuse Mark of that notion. It's Later with Mo Kelly. KFI.
No.
Okay, let's try it again. Do it again. We'll do it with Mark Ronner. See what sounds better. It's Later with Mark Double Ronner.
You had to sabotage.
No, let's do it one more time. And Mark, you'll bring us in. Do it again.
It is Later with Mark Ronner. Welcome back. Mo's out sick tonight. That's somebody else laughing there. Mo can't talk tonight.
All right, Stefan, one more time. Your turn. Lock yourself in.
My turn? Oh,
yeah.
God.
You want to do it's your show now.
Oh, all right. Let me try.
Okay.
It's later with Stephen Cabezas, KFI AM 640. Live everywhere in iHeartRadio.
I love it.
I don't know. I kind of like it.
I do too. I do too. Daniel, you want one? Want to try this? Carnisha, you want to try? Okay, Carnisha wants to try. Well, it's your show. You can name it whatever you want. All right, make sure you pull that mic a little closer to you and turn on your mic.
All right, let's go.
All right, here we go.
It's later with Carnisha, and we're here in LA with the hot girl Hottie.
Hot girl Hottie.
That's all I can think of.
Oh, it's good.
Your self-esteem.
Oh my gosh.
With your southern accent, New Orleans accent.
Nice.
Okay, to the business at hand. More than 134,000 LA County residents, and I am one of them, but I don't know if I'll get an envelope in the mail. But you may, if you live in LA County, receive an envelope in the mail sometime in the near future, which will say medical debt on it. You may not know this, but we did talk about this when it was approved by the LA County Board of Supervisors. LA County Board of Supervisors approved this action, which would wipe out a lot of people's medical debt. In fact, the first $183 million of it, the first of the $183 million in this first round has already been sent out, and you'll receive notification that your medical debt has been wiped away. And according to LA County Supervisor Holly Mitchell, you don't have to take any action. It's just a notification that the county is taking care of your medical debt. And you may think like, well, why would they do that? Most people either end up homeless or in financial ruin, which could lead to homelessness just because of medical debt. I have had any number of conversations with Tawala Sharp on this show and privately about the cost of simple procedures, the cost of a blood test, having blood being drawn, the cost of staying overnight in a hospital, saying nothing of staying multiple days. And you could, for example, you could stay multiple days in the hospital, have great insurance, and still have a bill of thousands and thousands of dollars on the other side of it. And I don't know about you, not a lot of people that I know can survive a major medical emergency or major health issue. Let's say you were diagnosed with cancer, unfortunately, and I know a lot of us know someone who is diagnosed with cancer. You may be in the hospital for any indeterminate amount of time, and that has nothing to do with the various procedures which may be conducted along the way. But I am a novice when it comes to this. Tawala Sharp, you unfortunately, I say respectfully, unfortunately, know a lot about this. What would you say to clear people's minds about the reality of how just simple procedures cost so much?
I'm going to tell you a story, and I don't think that we've talked about this. I was here late one night, maybe last month, and when I was leaving, I felt this pain in my arm. It was real sharp, and it was going down my arm, and my fingertips were tingling. And I said to myself, am I having a heart attack? And I said, okay, no, I'm fine. I'm going home. I said, no, damn that. Because that's what most black men do. They said they pass off, say, it's nothing, it'll pass. I said, no. I went around the corner to the Burbank Hospital over here, to the emergency room. I said, I'm going to drive myself over there. I'm going to check myself in and make sure everything's okay. They did an EKG, they ran some blood, and they gave me a shot of nitrogen just to kind of calm my heart down. Everything came back fine. They're like, we don't know what's happening, sir. Maybe you're stressed out. Maybe it's a panic attack. And I'm like, I'm cool. I'm sure. They say, you're not cool. We just had to give you some nitrogen. So you're not cool. Whatever the case may be, my insurance for what it took care of still, just for those three things, still left me with a $3,500 bill.
And you were there hour and a half?
I wouldn't even say it was an hour and a half. Wouldn't even say it was an hour and a half. And I'm like,
EKG,
WTF.
Blood drawn, nitrogen.
Yep.
$3,500 after insurance.
After insurance.
For them to tell you, we can't find anything
follow up with your doctor.
Huh.
Follow up with your regular doctor. You're okay.
And that's just urgent care.
That's just urgent care. That's just urgent care. I remember the first time I saw a bill for how much my dialysis treatment was when I was on dialysis. Each and every treatment, each and every one that insurance was taking care of was some $75,000.
But you were going like 3 times a week.
Yes, I was, Mo. Yes, I was.
$75,000 for each one. Okay, help me with the math here. That's a $250,000.
I'm sorry, $7,500.
$7,500. Okay.
$7,500.
Okay.
$7,500.
That's not that better, but still.
No,
okay.
$7,500. That's still $7,500.
That's 22 grand a week.
A week. And I was on dialysis for 6.5 years.
That's with insurance.
With insurance.
If you happen to be not even low income, just say moderate income and don't have full coverage or the correct coverage, you could be bankrupt in a year if you should have
easy
kidney issues.
Right now, I think the most outrageous bills that I have that I'm just constantly just paying, oh yeah, give me another one. Oh yeah, another bill, give me another one. Because I'm still, even after my transplant, I'm still going in at least every 2 months to see my doctor for a full panel, a full workup, all of that still costs thousands upon thousands of dollars. Every time I get a bill, I'm like, yep, let's add it to the stack because I'm be paying off on this stuff forever. I'm hoping I open up the mail and get one of these letters because I'm like, right now, yeah, man.
Yeah.
I'm in deep with the medical debt because that's just how much it is. And I think to myself, thank God for the fact that I have insurance. Because without
you're deep with insurance.
With insurance, I think about those who have no insurance. Those who just say, you know what? No, I cannot get a transplant. I can't afford a transplant because I don't have full coverage.
Let me ask you this. As best you can remember, you may not remember, you got a double transplant.
Yes.
Kidney, pancreas?
Yep.
Okay. Do you know what that costs without insurance?
Without insurance, I believe it's $1.5 million. This was 14 years ago. So it's just about $1.5 million.
1.5 million?
Yeah.
Otherwise, you die.
Otherwise, I'd be on dialysis for the rest of my life, and dialysis is not for the rest of my life.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
much, yes.
you die because you were telling us how you saw a person die in the middle of dialysis.
On the middle of the procedure. Right there sitting across from me. Right there. And I had to come back 2 days later. Like, so it's not like you could say, nah, I'm not coming back. I've seen people say, I'm not coming back. When I asked what happened to them, oh, yeah, we're sorry. Oh, yeah, they passed.
And how long is the dialysis treatment? It's like 4 hours?
Altogether about 4.5, 5 hours. Just then put you on the machine and the process. And it's, you look, I will say this. It is better. Dialysis is a lot better than the alternative. The alternative being death. Okay. Lot better than that. The reason I am such a big proponent and champion for transplantation, because that was, for me, that was 6.5 years of the worst years of my life. There was never a point in time where I ever felt good for 6.5 years being on dialysis. You're on the machine and you're getting worn out. You have a day off and you're trying to, catch up, get your body back on point, and then you're back on the machine right after.
I don't think people understand in that time where you're trying to recuperate, you can't really have any liquids.
No, yeah, there was
you can't have soup.
Yeah, I was on, I think, at one point early on, before I started really paying attention to my doctors and listening, I was relegated to 16 ounces of liquid a day because I was just that heavy, that far
16 ounces
of liquid.
Yeah, tell me about everything
Ice cube,
which qualified.
Soup, ice cream, anything that they have to pull off of the machine, liquid, period, anything. So don't mess around and start chomping down some crackers and just think, well, I'm just going to chew on, a cup of ice. Oh, are you? Oh, yeah, that cup of ice, that counts towards the liquid.
And if you should go over, what happens?
Oh, yeah, you're going to get it. You're going to feel it when you go onto that machine and they look at how far overweight you are when you come in and they just shake their head, look at you. They're just like, ooh, let's get him a a tray because you're going to be sick today.
Oof.
I still think about the blessing of having Medi-Cal, Medicare, and how that is the only reason I was able to get a transplant, because knock on wood, God bless, I am now 15 years in on this double transplant, still going strong. God is good. And that is just with insurance. I think about all the people who can't because of how expensive this is. This thing that the LA City Council and the City of Angels has done is a miracle.
County Board of Supervisors.
Sorry. County Board of Supervisors.
This is not LA City. So yeah.
Yes, County Board of Supervisors. This thing that they've done is a miracle. It is. You get one of these in the mail, get on your knees and praise God, because this is not something that has to be done.
It's Later with Mo Kelly, KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app, YouTube, and Instagram. When we come back, we're going to go to Long Beach and use the restroom, a smart restroom. What's that about? We'll tell you about it in just a moment.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
It's Later with Mo Kelly. Happy Friday. Let's kick off this weekend. We're live everywhere on YouTube, the iHeartRadio app, and Instagram. Long Beach has now added some what they call smart public restrooms all across the city. And they're blue and white. They're about the size of, I would say, just judging, like 3 porta potties in size. They're free to use. They're cleaned 4 times a day. And this is the worst part, Mark. I think you would agree with this. They have a 10-minute time limit.
What?
Exactly.
How are you supposed to get any reading done?
That's my point. There's certain things you just can't rush.
Please.
10 minutes?
We need our alone time.
And they have, I guess there are about 24 others across LA County, and it's part of a 4-month pilot program. This is cool. You know, it's like, yes, there are smart restrooms, but if you've done any traveling, and I'm not trying to brag or anything, I'm just saying, as a matter of fact, if you've done any traveling, this is not special. In fact, it's actually still behind Europe and Asia. When they have these public self-cleaning toilets that I've seen in France and South Korea, for example, they self-clean after every use. It's not like they're cleaned by a person 4 times a day.
Oh, I like that. That's like living in the future. Have you used one of those terrifying-looking squat toilets? In
Asia, yes.
Yeah, that you have to stand over?
Yes. Yes, I have. They're more common in Japan and China than Korea. South Korea, almost, they're conventional toilets just about everywhere. But you also have the benefit of a bidet just about everywhere. Even in public toilets.
I guess that helps, but I'll avoid a whole country to avoid using one of those other kinds of toilets.
Yeah, for those who may not know, there are some places where you almost like you stand on these, not bricks, but they're
kind of like foot pads, corrugated foot pads.
Yeah, and then you squat over basically an opening.
Yeah, like you're standing, and I don't know what the proper form is. Knees bent. What do you do?
It's knees bent. You're like catcher position.
It's horrifying.
Yeah, and it's almost like I've never had to really aim like this before.
No.
But it's, from what I'm told, it's a better physical position for the body to,
give birth,
push out.
Yes.
I don't know what the correct word is. That's FCC safe. But when we're going back to Long Beach and they have these new smart public restrooms, yeah, they should be all around the city, but they're not as advanced as people may want to make them out to be. I'm saying when they have to be cleaned by people, and they're only cleaned 4 times a day. It's almost like the guy who works at Denny's has to walk around and then go in the bathroom and check off the time he checked the bathroom and he cleaned up the bathroom. The rest of the world, they're self-cleaned after every use.
That seems quite civilized to me.
Yeah, somehow the rest of the world has figured out. And also, I mean, just in general, when you go around the world, they're ahead of us when it comes to these basic technological inventions. Go to Asia and see what they have in like the hotels for the bathrooms and also the toilets. Miles ahead of anything we have here.
Are they gold?
No, they're just great. They are great.
So between bathroom tech and healthcare, we're really not on top of the heap anymore.
Well, or education. I mean, South Korea, I always use that as an example. They're one of the top countries when it comes to education. I'm saying all this smartness permeates the society in how it's run. The technological advances from the transportation, the bullet trains, which actually go somewhere.
Oh, yeah, those two, yeah.
All of that. I mean, they're miles ahead of the United States. And for as much as we talk about, and I said it last night, American exceptionalism, travel, you'll see how far we're behind from bathroom technology to actual train technology.
Those people must be miserable.
Look, and I again, when I was in South Korea, not a hint of graffiti anywhere. Not a hint of homelessness. Now, they may have had it. I never saw it. It wasn't a part of society. It was not a thing. And everyone was so very respectful. It's a respectful society. There's some correlations here. There's some correlations.
Well, why would they have homelessness when they're not the richest country in the history of the world and we are?
There you go, trying to make sense again. I know. Those are great questions. Those are really great questions. If you think about education, you think about homelessness, and you think about the I'll say the quality of living, it's all connected. It's all connected. But as far as Long Beach and their new smart public restrooms, I'm not trying to poo-poo it, no pun intended.
Oh, boy.
I'm just saying.
And Bush wasn't even paying attention.
I know. I don't get any credit from him anyway. He ignores the show.
Completely checked out.
He doesn't like. We got to put a camera on him right now to see him just ignore us. Go ahead, Daniel. Put a camera on. Yeah, go ahead.
He has no idea. None.
Steph was like, what? Is something going on in here? Now he puts the headphones on. Hey, welcome back, Stephen. We're talking bad about you.
Oh, that's not very nice.
We have to hire a new intern to do the rim shots because
I know.
asleep on the job.
We were just giving jokes left and right. Puns, metaphors, similes, nothing. Absolutely nothing.
One for each of you.
Now, these are makeups. Those are pity ones, okay?
God.
Those are mercy rim shots.
Well, you each got one now.
Maybe I deserve 3. See, it doesn't quite have the same value if I just tell you to give me one.
No, but that was a joke, though. It was funny. See? That works.
Nothing matters.
Nothing. I said that last night, too. Nothing matters anymore. Nothing.
It's Friday, guys. Come on.
Yeah, where's the pizza, by the way?
I think Tuwal is ordering it now.
You think?
I'll check.
Okay, because...
Extra olives, please.
And you were kidding. I went outside to tell Daniel something, and I saw the box of pizza. I'm like, oh, sweet, the pizza's here. And I'm like, oh, that's the pizza that he came in with.
No, they didn't share. They didn't offer any to anyone.
I know.
Can you hear Carnisha laughing?
I can hear her laughing.
Yeah. She came in with a box of pizza and didn't even think.
Yeah, that's real funny, isn't it?
You know how we get food, we always make sure they eat right.
Everyone gets food.
When Nick comes to the studio with food, we make sure she gets some. Yeah.
But she did not feel like sharing.
None for us.
Didn't even offer. Nope. I'll remember that. I'm petty like that. I have a long memory.
Petty Crocker.
No. You can't undo this. You've already had pizza in the studio.
You can't give it back.
Yeah.
You ate it.
If Mo was a race car driver, he'd be Richard Petty. So you're not getting out of this.
That's right.
Okay.
Petty Crocker, baby. Petty Crocker. Twala, you're coming in to tell us that you ordered the pizza, right?
I'm only coming in to tell you that the pizza has been delivered.
Thank you, Jesus.
Hell yeah.
I don't want us to have to, languish in that smell of delicious pizza out in the hallway that we were not invited to.
Blame Daniel.
Cardesia
No. You knew you were eating pizza when you walked in the place.
She had such a happy look on her face, like, I can't wait to sit down and eat.
No shame. No shame.
Swallow, where the plates at?
No.
Plates at?
Turn off Carnisha's mic. She's not allowed to say anything else the rest of the show.
God damn it, my pizza was in a car. I ate my pizza in a car, okay?
Well, you brought up the pizza box, though.
That was not my decision. I asked Daniel. I said, do you want to bring this in the studio?
So wait, so the box was just to rub it in our face?
That's even worse.
No pizza in there, just a box.
Carnisha, say less.
Don't worry, I'm going to make you guys some treats.
Say less.
I'll bring in some.
Say less, because the more you say, the worse it gets.
I will make this up to y'all.
Mm-hmm. Y'all, with your southern accent. It's later with Mo Kelly. KFI AM 640 live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app, YouTube, and Instagram. Thank goodness our pizza's on the way.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
It's Later with Mo Kelly, KFI AM 640. We're live on YouTube, Instagram, and the iHeartRadio app. And if you're thinking about going to the beach this weekend, you know what I'm going to tell you. You know what I'm going to tell you. I'm going to say stay out of the water, be safe. But just in case you don't want to listen to me, health officials are warning residents to avoid swimming, surfing. Hey, that's you, Joe Kwan, and you, Matt Money Smith. Avoid swimming, surfing, and playing in the ocean at 2 LA County beaches. And if they say 2, that's probably like 8. Because the bacteria levels there exceed state health standards. The affected areas include the Santa Monica Pier in Santa Monica, and they always have these arbitrary distances, 100 yards up and down the coast from the pier. Inner Cabrillo Beach in San Pedro, the entire swim area. That is more accurate. That is being honest. Now, warnings, according to the LA County Department of Public Health, warnings have been lifted for Avalon Beach at Catalina Island, where water quality there had improved according to the official listing. And residents, if you need to get more information, you can always visit the LA County Public Health website or just listen to me and my recommendation to stay out of the water. I get it. You live in California. You probably have some affinity for the beaches, just like in Southern California. Why would you not get in the water? I don't know. It's just maybe working in news, not as an anchor, but just working in news. You see everything which comes across the wire. We have like City News Service and AP, Associated Press. We see everything just in the determination of what we're going to talk about on the show. So it's very difficult for us to just ignore bad news when it comes to beach water. And sure enough, Twala and I were just talking, riffing, and this came over the newswire, I want to say not too long before the show started.
Yeah, like literally, I was like maybe 20 minutes, just looked at the TV, said, gotta add that.
Gotta add that. And it seems like it's, maybe I'm exaggerating, but it seems like it's every single week, regardless of time of year. 1, 2, 7, 8 beaches. You have all sorts of sewage concerns. And then you have fire debris concerns and toxicity from that. It's like, just stay out of the water. And I was kidding with Joe Kwan and also Matt Money Smith when I name checked them. But I talked to Joe Kwan enough to know she's out there every single day. And I asked her privately and publicly, it's like, hey, does this ever give you any concern? Ever? She said, no, I'm out there just about every day. It's like, me, I couldn't do it because outside, remember when we had her on, it's like outside of just the sewage and the debris concerns, depending on where you are, you're still dealing with the jellyfish and the stingrays. I don't know how people do it. Maybe it's just because I'm a black man and we don't get into that stuff.
No, it's not just you.
It's you as a white man
so
too?
you stay out the water?
Yeah, I only go halfway in the water. Yeah, you figured it out.
Yeah, the non-black half goes in the water.
The lower half stays out.
Damn it.
Don't you, Stephen, don't.
He wasn't even listening.
Okay.
I was listening.
But on the beaches where there's 100-yard limit, so the filth just stops precisely at the 100 yards?
That has always been my argument. Have you ever put something in the water and just see it drift downstream?
And then just like there's an invisible wall and it just stops?
Right. It's not like there's a breakwater.
Sorry, no number 2 past here.
It's not like you go to Hermosa Beach and then you go to Manhattan Beach like, oh, okay, we're done here.
Have you ever gone out in the ocean? I'm being serious now. Gone out in the ocean and then you realize like you're maybe 4 towers down from where you started when you originally went in the water?
No, that's terrifying, though.
Because you just kind of drift?
A friend of mine almost drowned and had to be rescued when that happened to him.
Yeah, so that's why I stay out of the water.
I remember that because I remember like I would see my mom and my cousins, and you'd see them when you go into the ocean, and then you're just kind of playing in the water, and the next thing you know, they're like 10, 20 feet to the left of where you were.
But think about it. It's probably more than 100 yards that you've drifted. I'm assuming, and this is not scientific, I'm just going to make some assumptions here. I'm assuming that sewage can travel more than 100 yards. I'm just going to make that assumption. If someone had pooped in the water 100 yards away, okay,
it's
this is a football
down
field.
The coast, yes.
Ish floats.
Yeah.
Okay. It kind of just makes its way wherever the tide is going to take it. I don't get it. Why?
Well, we have to think if 2 weeks ago, some 4,000, as we reported, 4,000 gallons of raw sewage spilled into the ocean waters
as opposed
here,
to cooked sewage.
As opposed to cooked, ready to go hot sewage. I don't know, just raw. Raw means it hasn't been treated. Raw means it hasn't been broken down enough to maybe filter through to the sewage plants. That means it's still chunky. Okay. That means it's still thick. If it touches you, it's going to feel like seaweed or something stronger, maybe a stick. Okay. I'm just saying, when it hits you, it's going to be rough. That's raw sewage. No treatment. Okay. Fresh out the can. All right. That's
more?
what's in
No
the
pun
water.
intended.
More?
That's what's in the water. And I don't have any reports. I've been searching. There are no reports that this 4,000 gallons of raw sewage has been cleaned up.
It just kind of, filters to the bottom or goes to Baja California. One of the two.
One of the two.
It moves away. It moves further away.
Obviously not, because here we are 2 weeks later and it's back. I guess the tides brought it back in.
I just have to assume that there's always a high level of raw sewage out there, and they just don't tell us. I just have to assume that it's more than 2 beaches which are affected, and they just don't tell us. Maybe I'm being too cynical. Maybe I'm being irresponsible by saying that on the air. I'm just letting you know how I approach it, how I think about it, and the assumptions that I have to make. If you tell me it's 2, it's probably 4. If you say it's 100 yards, it's probably 500 yards. Why? Because I don't think it's going to stay in that small confined area. But you got to tell us something, right? Got to tell us just a little something, but you're not going to tell us everything. I'm not some government conspiracy theorist. I'm just saying that use some common sense. Play around in your bathtub and see if nothing moves around. That came out wrong. That came out wrong. I admit that. Let's just go to break. Please. KFI AM 640, we're live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app.
You can listen to KFI everywhere, like you haven't noticed.
KFI.
And KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live.